Hello guys, so I'm going to be making a little overview on Kirin. For those of you who don't know, he did get buffed in the utility changes a little while back, so this might change the vision of a few guides. Now for this, I did find a really great guides on the forum done by Tsuki S or Kaori, depending from when you see her. She does change her name a lot, might be a guy, but not precise anywhere. The players actually really chill on the forums, but the guide's actually really nice. I will be linking it in the description of the video. If you actually want to build him, I would really tell you to give it a look. Now, to look at the player on an overview point. First of all, he is one of the very first strikers in the game, one of the first utility strikers. His place is actually on the left, meaning you're going to be facing people who usually we don't want you to shoot on, who's really nice while still keeping his bonus. The goal usually is going to be to hit people like Virgil, like Kiki, people who just weren't meant to be hit here. So his placement bonus is actually really nice. Now, on a skill level, his active did get changed to increase attack power and crit rate by 25%. This does accumulate 5 times and will work even when he's not shooting. So this does remove the need to use Dragon's Bone to still crit. I would still advise looking at passives, and if very late endgame you still can't crit, then you might want to still throw in a Dragon's Bone. Now, for the second passive is the least impressive of all three. Increase attack power and critical damage by 30% of a shot. It's basically pathetic looking at his other skills, so this is the one you would never max out. The next one I would say is his best skill. Paralyze the enemy in the position for 2 minutes and decrease their reflex. I think the reflex part got added recently. The idea is they can't move, they can't do anything, but if they still have 100% action bar, they can do an action. So the counter to this is always going to be to use something that gives back action bar when attacked, who is the one weakness of a current line. Also, they don't like really people that can heal the line or goalkeepers when attacked that heal the line. One of the great ways to stop a Kirin is to throw a Metatron facing him, because she's going to heal the line, she's going to give back action bar to the line and to the entire team, and when the ball finally gets out, the rest of the team will be 100% action bar, and it will be game over. Now, Focused Thunder is, is increased critical rate, critical damage. It's just really nice. It does have a 10-minute max, so you do want to try to stack it, but when combined with Reaper's Wave's part, it's actually really nice. Now, on a stone level, like I was saying earlier, you don't need the Dragon's Bone one because it gives you not that much pen, and he doesn't have any built in. So since he's not Andor, you can't do the Andor critical damage stones unless you're re-rolling with dimension stones, but I'm not going to be going there because I know that's very expensive. But if you were to do that, that would open a lot more possibilities. I would say something like Andor Crit, Thunder Pen, and the Thunder Pen Unique, who would be really cool. Now, on an official build, I'm going to say throw in here a Gladaris. That's going to give around 45% penetration, if I remember correctly. Throw something like a Wormwind Speed, Wormwind critical damage to generate Spirit. And in here, throw a Thunder Receive Pass effect to increase damage and give critical rate. Now on a chain level, I would say here the only useful player is Tyler, but I don't really get why you would use a Tyler with a current line, so that's pretty bad. These are 3 to 4 stars, so we don't care. This is Leventor, but people who have Leventor usually don't run a Kirin, so unless you're really endgame, and even then, I don't see him that much, and I'm all the way up in Diamond, so I don't think it's the best thing to see. Plus, Wormwind beats Thunder. That's kind of how it works. Now, this one, Black Tortoise, that's actually a really great chain. And it's going to point out to what I was saying, that having a Wormwind mono team, or at least a Wormwind-ish team, is going to help him a lot. Now, what are the things you look for in a Kirin when you're looking at passives, when you're looking at players to stick him with? First, when you're running Kirin, you realize that this skill is only going to work if he uses it before the 2 minutes time is up. Because if they start getting action speed again, there's a very big chance they're going to leave with the ball. So what you want to do is to have a speed high enough to be able to steal the ball and reshoot before the 2 minutes are up. So what you're going to need are two things in that line. You're going to need a reflex buff and you're going to need some speed buffs. So the most popular ones are going to be, first of all, throwing in the little dragon, Nazarel. I don't care what her other skins are. I find this one so cute. The reason you want her is only for this one specific skill. Increase action speed, critical rate of whirlwind players within the team. It's really the speed we're after. You can throw in an old Princess Miriam. Again, all we're after really is the action speed. So when you're combining both of them, you're going to be able to get a 60% action speed buff for the entire team, or at least the whirlwind players that are in the team. Now, there are another bunch of players you're going to want. Of course, Black Tortoise, you're going to want her just for the affection link. But when we're looking at this, there are a bunch of other players that are not in the element that are actually cool. This is what I was saying is, you want to do either a mono whirlwind or a half whirlwind, have something else. Some of the cool things you could stack it with would be, for example, in light. If you were to throw in a good old Milky Way, you really are going to just want her because of her action speed and reflex buff online, who would actually cap out with the other buffs. So Murian would basically be over for the other team, and you would be giving a buff of, I think, 90% speed and attack power to the line, so that would just be great. Now, another great player you could throw in, this is more when you just want to do it fast and get over with it, because those things do need stacks. You can just throw in a good old Choi. Now, the advantage of Choi would be really for this one skill that increases action speed and attack power for 2 minutes with a pass. So again, we're really playing at that 2-minute limit of the skills, who makes it really cool. He is going to become more powerful with every action. So he's also really great when you're paralyzing the enemies. Some people have also really liked to throw in the front line a Kiki, because when you look at her skills, even though she's not going to get a position bonus, there's action speed, pass effect, max hype, all the really cool things you're going to need in front, and she's going to give increased reflex and attack power with 15 minutes. And her active is also a steal with reflex. So she's going to be able to steal the ball at a very decent rate in front line. So there are more players and more strategies. Again, I'm going to say look at the guide I've linked, but I hope this at least helps you guys get a basic understanding of how he works. Now, the one thing I do need to point out is in early game, he is going to be pretty useless because his entire value really comes in when he reaches the speed point where he can use his skill before the enemies can ever move again. So what does that mean? That means that until he's not EE'd, that he's not level 60 or even better 70, that he doesn't have superbs, he's going to be a pretty bad striker. After that point, he's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as time goes on. So again, I really want to say it's pretty cool as a striker, and I just believe that if you are able to run him properly, you can go very far in game, but there are some counters, so you might not be getting wins when they're attacking you, but when you're placing your players, you should have a very big advantage. So I hope this helps people understand. If you have any questions, put a comment in the description, and of course we can write on the forum, or I actually am in the line chat with the person that's in charge of that guide, so I can even ask him directly. So have a good day, guys, and I hope this helps understand how it works.